So, I inadvertently got wrapped up in a scandal and did not realize it. Yeah, I am sorry about that here, my friends. If anyone who is watching this here right now saw the previous video that we did here on this channel looking at global shipping, the ad that I had in that video was for Coopert, which is an automatic web coupon service that goes and finds coupons automatically for you when you are at the checkout stage for your online shopping. Now, when I went and did that, I thought, okay, you know what? Hey, this is pretty nifty. This is pretty cool. And then the internet had other ideas because of the honey scandal. And yeah, now there's pretty much no way to touch that with future ads, and I get it. I genuinely do try to listen to the feedback that you all give me here in the comments, and as an apology from me, we are doing a deep dive here today into what I have come to learn is one of the biggest digital marketing scandals in the history of the internet, and it is only something that has blown up like within the last 4 or 5 months and resulted in class action lawsuits against the company. Dear God, like when I actually go and explain that here from the very beginning with this whole thing with honey, my timing on doing this ad was absolutely terrible. Like, yes, I have to pay for my house that we just moved into, but there is only so far that we can actually go, and this is something that genuinely in the future I am going to have to be more careful about. So again, I am sorry. But anyway, for the lot of you that may be unfamiliar with this topic, you are probably wondering right now, well, Stack, what are you talking about? Why is this a big deal? What is honey? What is even going on? And what the hell did they do to go and piss off the entire collective internet to the point that a creator cannot touch anything even remotely similar for an ad without it blowing up in their face and comment section like a digitized minefield?
Honey is a free add-on that you can install on any browser.
Because Honey is giving you the chance to win $10,000 to make it.
Well, thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes.
Well, let's go ahead and explore that here today, my friends. So sit back, relax, keep your angry comments ready to type as we dive right into a video in which I do not have an ad for honey, but I do have an ad for another thing. Well, my friends, before we continue any further, I would like to thank today's sponsor, FlexiSpot, and at the same time that I'm thanking them, show off this amazing chair that they sent me, because this thing is the C7 Max, and it's replacing my wife's old chair. Do you want to see that? Yeah, that would be this thing. And like, guys, I have to say this right now, I genuinely do love FlexiSpot stuff. At this point, it feels like a third of my house is slowly transforming into their products because there is nothing that gives you quite as much bang for your buck while still being so incredibly comfortable. And I will say this, genuinely so much better than any dedicated like gaming chairs or anything like that. The headrest itself is adjustable in multiple directions. However which way your head bends or whatever kind of support it is that you want, you can raise this thing up, down, pull it all around, anything you want to do. Not only is that support wonderful, but when you're sitting for long periods of time, the lumbar support provided, as well as the ability to actually angle yourself fully back as though it's a reclining chair without actually worrying about the entire thing collapsing. Because go figure, I'm a big guy and I wear a lot of armor when I'm doing different filming productions. You want armrests? Yeah, listen to these things. They move in every single direction and sound exactly like my knees at the age of 30. Cushion? Memory foam, comfortable as hell. It even comes with a footrest, which is comfortable as hell. Wait, no, hold on. Don't you look at my feet like that. Whether you are a gamer, whether you are a student, whether you are an office worker, whether you do anything like this requires sitting, I'm telling you all this right now, it's actually a really good product. There is not many things that I use consistently every single day for so many hours per day, but this I can absolutely say that I do, and it is a lifeline for me with all of my work. So I genuinely encourage you all to go check it out and use my link when you go to buy one of these chairs. There's a 30-day return policy with a risk-free trial and a 10-year warranty with direct replacement for any kind of parts that get damaged. Use my code down in the description, get the best price you possibly can, and I'm telling you this right now, be comfortable, my friends. When I tell you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, I genuinely mean that. So okay, first off then, what exactly is honey? In short, if you haven't somehow heard of them, Honey is a free browser extension which automatically would go and search for and apply coupons when you go and shop online. As time went on, the service would go to do other things such as providing price drop alerts, which notify a user if the price of a purchased item decreased within a certain period of time, or cashback services, where after they went and partnered with PayPal, Honey would offer cashback on eligible purchases. This feature would incentivize users to shop through the extension as they could earn rewards on top of using their promo codes, which would save them money. Which, hey, if you go and look at that, it sounds pretty good, right? Yeah, the internet thought so for many years. To explain the story of this, and we are always going to have to go back and explain context, where I know that other channels typically focus on just the drama, we need to explain where exactly it is that Honey came from in the first place. From the beginning, entrepreneurs Ryan Hudson and George Ruin would go and found Honey in November of 2012. This being in Los Angeles, California, this being after they had built a prototype of the browser extension in late October of 2012. Now, this was all well and good, but the first big break for the service would actually come about around a year later, not from a legitimate thing necessarily, but when a bug tester for the extension went and leaked the prototype to Reddit, where it actually gained massive popularity. Through referrals, word of mouth, and more, Honey would continue to grow rapidly, and by March of 2014, the company had 900,000 organic users, which for a new startup is a very significant amount. But more was to come. The key point then that we need to focus on here, something that is relevant for you who is watching this video and for me who created this video in the first place, is that in the mid-2010s, Honey started to advertise with podcasts as well as YouTubers. Now, my friends, I go ahead and bring this up as a very important milestone because do you perhaps remember the adpocalypse from around 2016 to 2017? For anyone unfamiliar, the adpocalypse refers to a period of significant change and we will say instability in the way that YouTube would go and handle advertising as well as monetization, particularly for content creators. This period, which began in late 2016 and continued all the way through 2017 and beyond, was characterized by a series of policy changes and advertiser boycotts that were triggered by concerns about the types of content that were being displayed alongside advertisements. After all, advertisers typically didn't want to have their videos associated with terrorism, among other things. Which I do get, but it gets really complex really fast, and I did make a full video a while ago explaining that story and the problems that YouTube has because of it, but the most important thing to touch upon here is the sheer impact that this had on creators. With so many advertisers pulling out of YouTube for extended periods of time, it led to a massive loss in revenue for YouTubers that relied on them. Some creators would see over half of their income dry up practically overnight. The result of this, and I know you, the viewers of this video, are going to hate me for saying this, is that sponsored videos with creator-read ads, whether that is in the beginning of the video or the middle of the video or something else, these became not only just nice, like an additional way that one would be able to pad their revenue, but an absolute necessity for channels, particularly those with editors or more that had to be paid in order to be able to survive. Again, this is one of those things. Every single time I have a sponsored video, there is inevitably going to be someone in the comment section that is complaining about there being a host-read ad. That is, unfortunately, a necessity. And I'm going to give you an example of just one of my videos so that you understand what I'm talking about here and to be as transparent with you all as possible, because a lot of people don't really know what it is that goes on behind the scenes with YouTubers. To explain my story, I did not make YouTube videos before the adpocalypse, so I myself never saw a dip in revenue. I just started at the lower threshold that came to be the new norm as it was. I never got to experience the golden days of YouTube, just the more difficult parts. To give an example of what it is I can make, in my video, How Syria Became Ruled by Drug Lords, which I'll say this right now is a perfectly nice topic that YouTube absolutely loves to hear me talk about, I am sure. Totally advertiser friendly. At this moment that I am making this video right now, that video has around 72,000 views and has made me a grand total, and I have it up here, of around $398. So we'll basically say 400 bucks. That is around $5.50 per 1,000 views, which is meh. It's not the worst. I have seen a lot more worse rates, but it's certainly not great. Now, for anyone looking at this right now, making 400 bucks in one video alone, that sounds awesome to you who is watching this, and many would say that no creator should complain about what it is they make when they make that much off of a singular thing. But that feeling fails to understand the reality that the video itself took multiple days to research, write, get edited, and more. Meaning we're not talking about $400 in one day, but rather over the course of typically 3 to 4 days in my case. That would be $100 to $133 per day for that specific video. And that does not count the money that was paid to any staff to get that video made in the first place. Again, when I explain this here, I'm trying to be as blunt and as forward with you, my viewers, as possible so you understand where it is that I and many other creators are coming from. This is, unfortunately, the situation that many YouTubers found themselves in when the ad money started to dry up in rapid order. A video that theoretically could have made $1,000 before was now making $200 to $500, and it hit creators extremely hard. And do you know who was there to swoop in and save the day? Honey. Honey, as well as several other products like the classic Raid Shadow Legends, which, no, this is not, this would be really funny if this video was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, but it's not. As you saw, I had a different ad that went in this. These kinds of services became synonymous with YouTube sponsorships. If you were any kind of reasonable sized YouTuber, you were probably sponsored by one of these big names. At a time when creators could be making anywhere between $2 to $8 per 1,000 views, these companies came in and started to offer an additional $8 to $20 or more per 1,000 views in some cases, and that was incredible. Like, I want you to think about this here using the example that I gave of myself. In my video, if there had been a sponsorship by Honey that paid an average of around $10 per 1,000 views, I would have made an additional $720 on top of the $400. And now $1,120 over the course of 3 days, that makes the workload for the price way more reasonable. For YouTubers who saw their livelihoods almost destroyed, this was the lifeline that they desperately needed. They jumped right in, and soon Honey ads were everywhere. I swear, I remember watching YouTube on break at work when it was like 2018, 2019, 2020, and at that point, you were typically sponsored by one of three things I saw. It was either some VPN service, it was Raid Shadow Legends, or it was Honey. These services were everywhere in everything that I watched. And so getting back to Honey specifically, over the course of 2 years, from 2019 to 2021, Honey appeared on over 100 different podcasts and over 400 YouTube channels, with their strongest content categories at that point being gaming content, lifestyle content, and stuff that was just, general entertainment. This was so big for them because some of the videos that they ended up actually being on ended up being massive. The most popular video to ever feature Honey, you may wonder? A PewDiePie video from 2019, which ended up getting over 60 million views now. As you can imagine, from the rapid order of success that you would see from videos like this, Honey would blow up beyond all conceivable belief, gaining millions upon millions upon millions of users. In fact, it would get so big that it caught the attention of tech giant PayPal, which would go and acquire Honey in 2020 for a whopping $4 billion and become PayPal Honey. Yeah, you heard me right. $4 billion. Now, as for why they did this, there are multiple reasons. PayPal aimed to integrate Honey's features into its platform in order to provide a more comprehensive shopping experience for its users. This would include automatic coupon application, price tracking, cashback rewards, this sort of thing, which added value to PayPal services and made online shopping more convenient and rewarding. There was also speculation at this time that PayPal's acquisition of Honey was specifically motivated by a desire to compete more effectively with other e-commerce giants like Amazon. By offering similar savings and rewards programs and things like that, PayPal could go and attract more online shoppers to the services that they were in charge of and reduce its reliance on Amazon's marketplace. As it was, Honey had already gained a significant user base due to its popularity as a browser extension. Acquiring Honey allowed PayPal to tap into this existing user base and potentially convert them into normal PayPal users, which would increase their own customer retention and massively increase profits. This would work so well that by 2024, Honey would reach its peak user count at over 20 million people, which again is massive. The question, though, that one may have here at this point is, well, all right, if that was the peak, what happened to it? And how did Honey make money in the first place to grow that big as a company and be bought out for $4 billion when it's literally just a free browser extension offering coupons? Well, that's just it. Honey mostly makes its money through commissions from its merchant partners, such as eBay and other things like that. When Honey browser extension app users use a coupon or promotional code to find an available discount and purchase a product, Honey gets a commission fee from that merchant. The commission is typically just a percentage of the total sales price, which could be 0.5% to up to 10% or more, depending upon the product or the deal or whatever it is that they have with the company. Honey would track every single sale that they could and worked with affiliates in order to confirm their users' purchases. They would work with over 20 different affiliate networks and would partner with over 30,000 different stores in industries ranging from food to fashion to travel and technology. Basically, if you could buy it, Honey was going to try and work with it. That is how they make their money, and that is where we start to see a problem. See, for the lot of you that are watching this here right now, your familiarity with Honey and its scandal probably stems from the controversy and scam accusations that kicked off on December 21st, 2024. This being when a YouTuber by the name of Megalag would go and release a video essay claiming that Honey made money by replacing creator affiliate marketing links with their own, thus gleaning a share of the affiliate revenue that would otherwise go to that creator themselves, effectively stealing it. Now, when I talk about this here, my friends, this video was massive at the time that I went to do research on this particular topic. It has over 17 million views, which is pretty extensive on YouTube to say the least. In addition to the whole stealing commissions thing, Megalag would also state that the extension would grant partnered vendors control over which discount codes are presented to users. Furthermore, he would claim that Honey was intentionally excluding more favorable discount codes, displaying only coupon codes that were approved by the merchant stores that were partnered with the Honey Partner Program. So if you saw a coupon for 20% maybe somewhere, but Honey was only presenting you with coupons for 10%, it was an issue because Honey was hiding these better deals from it in order to be able to get a percentage of that sale. Now these, my friends, are major accusations, and the fires of the internet immediately started burning. That was a torches and pitchfork analogy for anyone who is curious. Quite literally, within a matter of 2 weeks, 3 million users would go and uninstall Honey. Within the next couple of months, another million. This would take 20% of the entire user base of the service out of commission. Almost immediately, at the outbreak of the controversy, PayPal would have to start issuing statements. And in one such statement to The Verge, they would say, quote, Honey follows industry rules and practices, including last click attribution, end quote. Now that, my friends, the entire reason that I bring this up is that this statement is one of the key sources of the controversy itself because of the fundamental flaw, or we should say purposeful behavior, of Honey. See, if you've ever watched any YouTube videos, which I mean, you obviously have because you're watching this here right now, YouTubers and other creators oftentimes will go and recommend products, and their fans who make purchases of these products through their creators' affiliate links will go and help support them this way. Affiliate sales can often make up a substantial portion of a creator's revenue. But with Honey, unless a store has the ability to track through cookies multiple link clicks to track multiple affiliates, which most don't, then that means only Honey is taking the affiliate commission regardless of whatever link was clicked in the first place. As Ray Fernandez of Techipedia would state, Honey's interfering with the checkout process and, quote, deliberately removing all traces of original links that led users to a product and replacing them with their own affiliate ID, end quote. That is not exactly a standard industry practice. That is just how Honey was designed in the first place. And so the reason then, my friends, that I talk about this more in detail with the part about affiliate links versus the other accusations is that in comparison to those accusations, this one actually has more of a concrete base. There are accusations that Honey goes and replaces 25% off coupons with their own 10% coupons, giving you a worse deal in order to get the sale. But every example that I have seen of that with a code is something that should not necessarily have been released in the first place, like a one-time reward code for customers or an employee discount that somehow made it online that should not apply to the public, or something like that. It's way more nebulous. The affiliate part, though, that is where things are actually kind of sketchy. And we are talking about tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of dollars of sales here. That is something that lawyers take notice of, and they did. On December 29th, 2024, a class action lawsuit against PayPal was filed in the United States federal court by 3 law firms, including one owned by YouTuber Legal Eagle over the affiliate marketing controversy. That lawsuit would claim intentional interference with contract relations and prospective economic relations, unjust enrichment, conversion, and violation of California's unfair competition law. Another class action lawsuit was filed on January 3, 2025 by the technology review outlet GamerNexus, claiming conversion, interference with contract relations, and violation of North Carolina's Unfair and Deceptive Trade Practices Act. This was starting to get really big. And as more and more attention was drawn to the issue, a few very key things happened. First up, Google, in response to all of the controversy, would go and update its rules surrounding extensions in early March of 2025 in order to avoid exactly this exact same thing happening again. According to the new policy, which is available on the Chrome for Developers website, quote, affiliate links, codes, or cookies must only be included when the extension provides a direct and transparent user benefit related to the extension's core functionality. It is not permitted to inject affiliate links without related user action and without providing a tangible benefit to the user, end quote. And to make it absolutely clear, Google would even go and provide some examples that would be in violation of this policy, such as inserting an affiliate link where there was no coupon, no cashback, or other kind of discount that was being provided. In addition, Google would say that a user had to take action for an extension to inject an affiliate code. It couldn't just happen automatically. The extension can't just insert that code without being manually prompted to do so by the user, saying, and I quote, related user action is required before the inclusion of each affiliate code, link, or cookie, end quote. This section clearly states that a Chrome extension has to notify the user if it is replacing an existing affiliate link with its own. And any Chrome extension replacing an affiliate link without a user's knowledge, that is something that violates Google's policies and is not allowed. As you can expect, really looking through this policy, if you go and read it for yourself directly, this seems to be a pretty targeted response to Honey's affiliate tactics. But at the same time, it also does not appear to affect the legitimate uses that Honey has and other coupon and cashback related Chrome services. Like, this is something that only specifically targets the affiliate issue, because that is actually a problem. The second big event was an Ask Me Anything on Reddit this past month in April of 2025, where Ryan Hudson, the co-founder of Honey, that is no longer with Honey and has not been for several years, would come onto the internet in order to answer people's questions and provide his own views on the matter. And now, look, I'm saying this right now. This is something a lot of people talking about with the scandal seem to either ignore or not really understand in the first place. So I am going to try and break it down here for you. Over the course of his fairly long post, which again, I will leave a link for it in the description, you can go and check this out here yourself, Hudson would go and refute multiple of Megalag's key points, stating outright, is Honey a scam? No. He would go on to explain that Honey's use of vanity codes was specifically intended to support creator attribution rather than try to deceive people, saying, and I quote, an equivalent code of equal value to the best ones publicly available was always a policy requirement when I managed Honey. He would go on to dismiss more accusations that Honey suppressed better codes in favor of lesser discounts dictated by retailers, saying that Megalag's claims were bold and, quote, unsupported by any evidence. For details on that, again, I recommend that you go check out the post. But addressing the second major allegation, that Honey was going and stealing affiliate commissions, Hudson would argue that Megalag had misunderstood how affiliate tracking works. He would go on to cite the Linus Tech Tips and Newegg examples in the video, explaining that in cases like this, Honey and creators like Linus Tech Tips were compensated under a multi-touch attribution model, saying, and I quote, Newegg decided that this was worth it to them and decided to pay both the salesperson, that being the creator, and the coupon distributor, being PayPal Honey. They would end up paying both, so both would get compensated. That is pretty much the long and short of it, though if you want to know more, you obviously can go and check this out for yourself. Looking at the long answers given to address the multiple claims, we come away with what I personally call a mixed bag. Again, keep this in mind. You can go and read all of this yourself and look into things to draw your own conclusions, but this is what I personally came away with. And I'm not normally a person who gives my opinions on matter. I try to just present stories. First up, the falsehoods, or we should say misunderstandings if we want to be charitable. The claims that Honey goes and replaces better coupon codes with their own code in order to reduce the money loss of a business appears to be conflated and false. Yes, codes have been removed before, but these are largely either one-time use reward codes that offer big discounts that would not apply to others, or employee codes that are not supposed to be released to the public in the first place, or other things like that. The examples of this that are given in Megalag's video appear to have several inconsistencies, and if you want to go and check that out, I definitely advise that you go and do so. But where there is a real issue is the part with affiliate links. But it does not appear to necessarily be an intentional effort to steal money from creators, but rather this is a consequence of the core design of Honey itself, as well as how most online shopping services function in the first place. Basically, most affiliate services with online shopping operate on a last click basis. What that means is that the last click or code that is input into the sale is the one that gets credit for said sale, regardless of whatever link a person clicked in the first place to get there. Some services, like Newegg, have the ability to track multiple affiliates, which would credit a creator and Honey, but this is not something that is very common. As a result, Honey would, and again, I am saying this to be charitable, by design, inadvertently take credit for a sale that they ethically should not have. Now, that is not something that is done with the intent to steal, but regardless of intent, a similar outcome is still reached. So, does that mean, as some people have said, that Honey is a scam? No, it's not. Not if you want to look at it as a literal scam. But aspects of it have achieved a similar result to what a scam would do, which of course has everyone on the internet very angry. In the end, though, after this fiasco and barrage of negative media attention, the likes of which has not been seen again until Duolingo went and destroyed its entire fan base on the internet, which that could probably be a whole other story right there, Honey would subsequently go and update their extension to stop claiming affiliate revenue in cases where they were not able to provide a discount. By May of 2025, Honey, as I said, had lost 20% of its user base, or 4 million users. And similar class action lawsuits were filed against industry competitors with allegedly similar practices, such as Microsoft Shopping and Capital One Shopping and more things like that. As for what the results of these lawsuits are going to be, who can really say? But that is the history and the context of all of this drama. So I hope that for you who is watching this right now, that you have learned something today and are more aware of what exactly is going on. Again, I made this video as a response to my previous ad deal with Coopert, and I've spent the last 3 days doing every single bit of research that I could for it in order to be as informed as I am now. So hopefully those of you that stuck around with me here to the end are also just as informed. Either way, that is the end of today's video, and I will once again issue an apology. I am sorry, my friends, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all here next time. Goodbye and good luck.